No.
I don't know how.
It's because of the, I think it's because of that tax bill that Trump passed.
I didn't get much more. I got 200 and something.
Because I think her mom claims you.
Yeah.
That's probably why. See, I claim myself. Why?
You don't want this. Get down.
He's actually pretty good for a level 1.
It's because they're all weak against her ability. Well, her weapon.
Oh. Oh, that makes sense.
And him, too.
That's probably why you can find her in this area, too.
Yeah, like
Are you heading towards the other one that's near you?
No, I'm heading to her quest to try and finish it.
Wait. What quest? The pirates?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be chapter 2 for her, though?
I don't know.
Check
Pretty
the map.
close.
Check the map.
Map doesn't say.
Oh, well then never mind. It probably isn't. Yeah,
No, it's still chapter 1. See? Teresa, chapter 1.
Oh, okay.
Recommended level 5. She's level 1. Or 2 now, actually.
Well, your recommended level, I think. Your character that you chose. Which
No,
is-
it has her face.
Oh. You just gotta keep battling enemies, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
Cyrus was level 1 when we started, too.
Yeah, what is he now? 8?
Yes. She'll catch up.
Well, this kind of does remind me of like a mix of like the old Final Fantasies and the new Final Fantasy, like the old Final Fantasy and then the 3D Final Fantasy a bit. The old Final Fantasy sprites, but kind of like the battle systems of like the 3D ones for the PlayStation game system.
It reminds me of Final Fantasy 1 mixed with Final Fantasy Tactics in a way.
You know, I noticed Square Enix is re-releasing Final Fantasy 7, 9, 10, 10-2, and 12 on the Switch and the Xbox One and PC. They skipped 8. They're not even doing 8.
That's weird. It was one of the best Final Fantasy.
They actually aren't even releasing it. They don't even have 8 on the PlayStation 4 either.
Mm-mm.
They haven't released that game yet on any platform. It's only been on the PlayStation 1. I don't know why they aren't releasing that. It was
on the Play Store.
Well, it's probably
It wasn't like an HD remake or anything.
No,
though.
they haven't. They're not re-releasing it with higher resolution.
That's because once it hit 8, that's when the graphics changed a lot.
Yeah, but they did 9. They're doing 9. They remastered 9 to have
9 has not as good graphics compared to 8, actually.
It still has high resolution, and so does 10 and 10-2. Those are HD remastered, so these straight in the title. So is 12. So I don't know, they just skipped 8 for some reason. I mean, they'll probably re-release it. They're gonna. I mean, like, it wouldn't make sense to not release it.
Maybe 8's like a longer game compared to the other ones? I don't know.
No. 10 is pretty long.
Not really.
Compared to 8, probably. Because they couldn't fit as much on those discs.
8 is a long game. Ugh.
You never played 8 all the way through.
I got pretty close.
I don't remember you doing that.
I played it at our dad's because Chaz owned it. Back when I'd go over there on the weekends.
I just hope they do re-release 8 as well on the Switch and stuff, and PC and PS4. I also hope they re-release the Kingdom Hearts games. I just feel like that's gonna happen.
Found the weakness.
It's only a matter of time. Though it makes me wonder, will they re-release 13 on the Switch and PC and PS4 and Xbox One? The 13 trilogy.
Probably not. It's too soon.
I don't know. I mean,
They'll probably do it on the PS5.
Maybe not the place. I mean, like, I feel like the Switch would be the most likely since the Switch didn't get that. Nintendo's systems didn't get that game. I don't know. I don't think it would sell well because people already know how bad 13 is from rumors around.
The first 13 wasn't bad, But the first 13, the only thing bad about it is the characters were dull, honestly, and the battle system wasn't the greatest, but the story was interesting.
13-2, you said you...
13-2 was awful.
You said you played the demo, didn't you?
No.
I thought you said you played the demo.
I have the whole game. Played the whole... I didn't play the whole game. I got maybe like a quarter of the way through.
And then you said you got bored?
It's just stupid. The story doesn't really make much sense. Something about time travel.
So it's like Resident Evil 5?
What?
Resident Evil 5 and 6's stories, which were kind of dumb. A lot of people said the stories in 5 and 6 were dumb, but the gameplay in 6 was actually pretty good for Resident Evil.
I actually like Resident Evil 5. I'm not gonna lie. It's not the best Resident Evil.
I never played Resident Evil 5.
But I like it.
Well, I mean, we played a little bit of it on the 360, but I never really... what was that? Ooh!
Let's do this.
But no, when we played, I kind of like lost... I don't know, I guess I never...
There isn't a single Resident Evil game I don't like, though.
No,
like,
Resident
5
Evil-
is definitely...
The least favorite?
Nah, I'm gonna have to say 6, actually. Besides Jake's story.
Jake's story is from 6.
Yeah, I'm saying. His story was great, and Chris's story, but the only reason I like Chris's story is when we beat that monster by stabbing it.
Oh yeah, that was funny. And then you constantly spoiling the ending of Jake's story, or not Jake's, Chris's story, because we had to redo like the first part of the game because we lost the footage. And
Oh, yeah.
And then you kept saying, Jake, Chris, or what's his name? What was
Chris's friend, I forgot his name.
He he dies at the end. Oh yeah, and he kept saying it'll be sucked because he dies, and then and I'm like,
Did you bleep it out?
no, I just left it in because I'm like, it's Resident Evil 6. It's been out for
A while.
Yeah, it's been out for like.
You remember when like
6
the whole
years.
controversy was going over how the frickin' 6 looked like a giraffe? Looked like a
looked
manatee giving a giraffe a blowjob.
Yeah, I remember that. Well, it does. The kind of look. Once you saw, once
they pointed it out,
Yeah, I couldn't
Yeah, you
unsee
can
it.
unsee it. It's still there, honestly, to this day. There was an uprising in the Ouroboros, and so they wanted to go there, but the only operative they could send there was Chris.
They didn't say anything about the.
And then he teamed up with the special forces in that area, which is the black girl.
Yeah, they didn't say anything about. Though they didn't say anything about the
My turn now.
the attack of the how you had to attack Chinese people in China on Resident Evil 6.
Yeah.
Whoops. Now, what next?
Nope, just the power.
Have you met their emperor?
Emperor? You mean leader? They don't have an emperor anymore.
Emperor. Might as well be an emperor.
Yeah. But it's a communist country. One of the only
A
few
communist republic. Because that's a real thing.
left. That doesn't make any sense.
I know, right?
That's like the People's Republic of North Korea. Or no, that's China, I think it is.
Yeah, it's the People's Republic of China, is what they're called.
But it's a communist republic. And then there's something like, wasn't there something like North Korea very similar? I think it's something similar like
I think
that.
you're thinking Vietnam.
No, there's something like that for North Korea too, and it's like, yeah, you
The
sure are for
Republic
the
of
people.
North Korea.
Something like that, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, you guys are a republic for sure. You know, the country where you get killed if you say anything about your leader. China has kind of toned down that, but I know that in China,
They still regulate a lot,
yeah,
but they don't regulate the market as much. That's
No.
why they consider it a republic. Because it's a capitalist style market.
yeah. It's just their privacy, their daily lives, their religion, and their free speech are not there. I know that in China they censored.
And they have child labor.
Yeah, I know in China they banned Nintendo's online service.
Nintendo?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. They just banned it. Probably because it allows you to talk with people too much outside of China. Because China has specific rules. They literally had Google make them a specific Google search engine just for them, so that way it would censor out certain words.
Wow.
And
They must have paid Google a lot for that.
Yeah.
I bet you Google has control of Area 51.
Bet you Disney does.
Probably.
That's where they hold all of their cartoon characters hostage in chains. All their actors, all the Disney actors, they just let out once in a while, then they go back to Area 51 and put in cages. Why do you think Hannah Montana's the way she is now? She got experimented on.
That's why every freaking Disney actress turns into a hoe.
Will this do?
Oh, frick, we did... What was that?
Speaking of Mickey.
Yeah. Ha I love sauce. It's like that one.
I'll pimp you out.
It's like that one thing. It's like, every day I stick to here at Disneyland. It's like, how long has it been since you sucked a penis? Oh, I freaking love that video.
Shoot.
I love that video. Great. What the heck?
She gave them a keg of alcohol, but it's infused with sleep weed, so they're all gonna pass out.
Oh, the pirates.
Yeah.
Their voices are so
I
bad.
have carrot in the back of my throat. It feels weird.
Actually, there is one Resident Evil game that you probably wouldn't like, though, Justin. There's maybe 3. There's this one for the PS...
I don't really care for Revelations, to be honest.
Revelations is actually... People say it's one of the better ones because of, not 2, but the first one.
Yeah, I'm talking about 2.
A lot of people didn't like 2 because it was short, and it cost way too much money for what it was.
I didn't like how it was only one player when there were multiple characters.
It was one player. Resident Evil Revelations 2 is 2-player. It's
Which
a
one was
co-op
one
game.
player?
The first one. That one is 1 player, which kind of sucks. I don't understand why it's 1 player, but it is.
Oh yeah, I didn't like that.
There's probably a mod patch or something like that on the PC version of it, though.
Because it had multiple characters, but it was only 1 player.
Yeah, there's co-op in it, but it's only for the survival mode, not for the main story. Which doesn't make sense that they decided, oh, here, second one will give you multiplayer. It's probably because
Captain Leon?
People probably complained about it, though. That's probably why they didn't. No, the ones I'm talking about, there was one for the PS2, I forget what it was called, but it's based off the movie, and nobody liked it. It was just like, nobody liked it, and it just, kind of just, you know, the phone picks that up when she runs back and forth.
Yep.
And,
I didn't know there was a game based off of the movie.
Huh?
I didn't know there was a game based off of the movie.
I think it's based off the movie, I don't know, but
the
it was like
movies are awful.
And then there was 2 for the Wii called Resident Evil Umbrella Chronicles and Resident Evil, I forget what it was, another one. I think it was Stars Member or something. I forget what it was. It was something, and they're just rail shooters, basically, like House of the Dead.
Well, those aren't that bad. I like games like that, like Time Crisis. And
one
whatnot.
looks like, Umbrella Chronicles is a rail shooter, but I don't know about the other one. Speaking of which, speaking of arcade-style games, they're bringing Mario Kart VR to the United States.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, it was only a thing in Europe, until in Japan, and then now they're bringing it to the United States. I hope it's in that one mall, cause frick, we're gonna have to go and we'll have to definitely try that out.
You'll beat me like every other time we play Mario Kart.
But it'll be a VR, so you have to actually for the item you actually have to like like it'll be like this. You'll be in the like you'll hold like the item like with the controller or something.
How do you put it behind you though?
You kind of like how they have the VR headsets. You'll be like this. You'll be holding it with one, and then you'll chuck it like that.
I meant like when you have shells or bananas. How do you put it behind your cart?
Oh, I don't know.
To block.
They might have like you'll still have there's buttons on the controls,
Yeah.
so they'll probably do that. But it may just be the VR experience may not be like the items and stuff. It may just be like the thing on your head and you just move around like that. Remember that one VR thing that we did at that Sony for the PlayStation 5 at Best Buy? What'd you think of that?
Made me a little dizzy, honestly.
I forget what game you tried because I know I tried.
I tried the tank game.
Oh, I played like some space shooter. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was cool, but it made me really dizzy.
I wasn't really that dizzy. And one thing that the VR games is that a lot of VR games are just these like small like games that you could probably either don't have any story, or you would just play like for like a few minutes and then
like mini games.
Yeah.
Super Hot looks pretty cool though.
I have Super Hot. Like, the only games that I would probably get for VR if I were to get them would be games like Super Hot because that looks pretty cool, or like horror games that kind of give you a
I
first
just can't
person
wait
view.
until they make an MMO VR game.
I know that Resident Evil 7 is the entire game is completely playable in VR.
Mm-hmm.
If I had a VR headset, I'd do a VR Let's Play of it instead, but those cost way too much money.
They're working on VR SAO, and they have been for a while.
Well, actually, the PlayStation VR, which is probably where you would play the Resident Evil 7 VR thing, I think it's only PlayStation. The PlayStation version of that, I think, is like the PlayStation headset. I think you can get like for $250, which is pretty cheap considering that majority of headsets for that stuff is like $500-$600.
I remember when the Oculus first came out, some dude recreated recreated the original Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, I saw that. That was cool. Then it got taken down by Nintendo.
Yep.
That's the one thing I don't like about Nintendo is they take down fan projects, which is technically legal for fans to do because they're not making money off of it. It is very, in fact, because Nintendo has too much money, so people don't bother with it. But if someone who had enough money to defend themselves could do it, they could definitely win in a court of law because especially in the
They're
United
not
States.
making money off of it.
Yeah, because it's technically within legal rights. It's a parody. It's not. It's like in legal rights of being.
Then again, Nintendo would probably just pay off the judges or something.
I don't think Nintendo would do that. They haven't been known to do that sort of thing. But I know that Disney would. Disney would definitely do that. But it's mainly because
Disney is the judge.
It's mainly because Nintendo's Japanese company, a lot of Japanese companies actually, not just Nintendo, but Sega, Square Enix, especially Square Enix, Atlas has been doing it recently, Capcom, Konami, especially Konami,
Nintendo,
and Nintendo, especially Nintendo. Yeah, these companies, they don't understand how the copyright system works in other countries, and because the big problem with Nintendo, and this is mainly because Nintendo has more of a say. Unlike the other companies, Nintendo of Japan has the final say and action over everything that happens in the Nintendo company. Nintendo of America and of Europe can only just advertise and be there to translate and just reiterate their statements. Whereas Sega of Japan and Sega of America have different roles. Sega of America can say and do things with their IPs the same way as Sega's Japan could. Same with Capcom of America and Capcom of Japan. Where Nintendo of Japan, if Nintendo of America or Europe wants to do something, Nintendo of Japan says no, they can't do it. They don't have the rights to do that. Only Nintendo of Japan can do it. And
wait, isn't he sleeping? What?
Yeah. So it doesn't make any sense in my opinion. It's kind of unfair because it basically just says you have to listen to what you have to listen to our Japanese rules, and it's like, well, the rules are different in each country. Sorry, but it just shows that the people in Japan of Nintendo's company feel like they hold us. They are very protective of everything that they have, whereas like Sega and Capcom and even like Atlas and stuff, they'll be more open to the American branches of their company to be able to do and have say in everything.
I mean, I don't blame them for being protective of their
but it's
IPs
just
and whatnot, but they're going
you,
a little too far.
But wouldn't you feel a little bit like ripped off if, like, say they give you position as, let's say, okay, you're the president of Nintendo of America, right? And they say all you can do is promote stuff, translate stuff, advertise stuff, and get the message out. You have no say or control of anything that we do. I'd be like, that doesn't seem too fair, because that means I'm literally just a figurehead. I have nothing. I don't do anything besides advertise. I mean, sure, you probably get like.
I mean, in a way that makes sense because the Nintendo of Japan is the one that makes the games, right?
Yeah, except there are some games that are made in America. The Metroid Prime games, the Donkey Kong Country games, the Star Fox games are made. Some of the Star Fox games were made in America or in Europe, in Britain, and in fact, all the Donkey Kong Country games of the last 2 decades, all the Metroid Prime games of the last 2 decades.
Oh well, then yeah,
they were made in Texas. So
then there's an issue.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, sorry, they're made in our country. We should be able to dictate what they do. No, maybe they do. I don't know. I don't know anything. But Nintendo of Japan has the final say. Even if Nintendo of America thinks that something shouldn't be added into that. It's like, no, sorry, they had the final say. But, I mean, like, I guess on one hand it's kind of okay because, like, they do, like, if you're Nintendo president of the American branch, you probably get a decent amount of pay.
I would hope so.
You get a decent amount of pay. You get all the inside information that you want. So it's like, hey, you get all these games, you get to view them and way early because you're a higher up. Because you're also going to need to know what the games are before you advertise them. And you're going to get to test out the games first, and you're probably going to be able to get them for free. Because you're higher up. But, it still kind of sucks that they have no control. But then again, Square Enix does the same thing with their games. Square Enix gives no control to Square Enix of the USA. Square Enix of Japan.
I didn't even know there was a Square Enix in the USA.
Yeah, there is. There's an American branch, and there's a European branch. The Japan version, though, Square Enix is way more tight than Nintendo is with their IPs, actually. Mm-hmm. Square Enix actually takes down videos of YouTube who actually use images of their stuff. And it's like, they can't even use the images from the box art, or or from the artwork from their instruction books, or from the games, or their videos get taken down for copyright. And it's like, really? It's like, unless you're releasing an art book, I don't see the point of that, in which they never have.
They released an art book for Kingdom Hearts.
This is for Final Fantasy. They've never done that. Anyway, I gotta end this. That was like 6 minutes. I was on a rant there for a bit against Japanese companies.